It is the job of the American people to manage their government.
It's literally your job.
It's our job.
As being an elected official, that you are held accountable by the people.
They represent us.
Yep.
We don't get to sit at home and go, we get to take control of our country's leaders when they are out of line.
Our representatives do not represent themselves. They are foregoing that right when you become an elected representative. Your personal opinion should not matter because you are now an agent of more than yourself.
You are serving the government.
Correct.
You follow its rules and policies. You don't get a top secret clearance unless you are capable of handling and understanding how to process that information responsibly.
Until the people decide otherwise, you enforce what the people wished.
And I think it's time for America to decide, what are we really getting in this representation?
And what do you stand for?
This week, or over the last few weeks, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago, all of Trump's cabinet exposed this country to a major national security risk by lifetime sharing classified data on a public app on private cell phones. Of course, that hasn't been shown yet, but it will be. Because they can't have
it wouldn't have
that
been downloaded
app.
on
It's not installable on the government devices because they had just announced it had too many breaches, too many possible leaks in it. And we have all of Trump's cabinet sharing lifetime war strike data in that group.
And to that point, it's really deeply concerning how casual they are about using it, so that it really strongly implies this is not the first time that they have been using this for official act conversation.
And I absolutely...
Which is really concerning.
Well, and we would have never known, but by some act of God, thank you, a journalist was added to their texting share. One who actually, I guess, had a history of being a bit anti-Trump, dare I say, accidentally added and witnessed the share. Literally emojis and fist bumps with bombings in other countries' team. Location of sensitive targets.
Missiles, names, locations, all being very detailed in this message.
Now, I remember when there was a situation with Hillary, one that might have even cost her an election, where she exposed our country to mild risk. And I agreed with the level that was handled with. Extreme inquiry, investigation, and accountability.
I agreed with the investigation. The results only really decided that they may have been blown up a little farther than we thought.
When you're talking...
But there was a right to investigate.
But when you're talking about handling, she was in running to be president, you're talking about being trusted with the most sensitive data in our country, you have to show yourself as trustworthy. And here we have the entire cabinet acting like a bunch of high schoolers on a WhatsApp chat about a football game. Like, they don't even understand, obviously, the difference or what you should be talking about. One of the people in the chat was in Moscow. Do you know how dumb you have to be to share something private with someone who's in a network in Moscow? And then when the reporter left the chat, they didn't even follow up. He even emailed them.
He contacted them to remind them.
Hey, I was on there. Was that real? And they didn't respond. Breaking another clause in the Espionage Act. Way to go, Goldberg. We love you. But what we're seeing here, and then, let me add that. Tulsi Gabbard lied under oath about it. If you remember when Clinton was held accountable, it wasn't necessarily the data leak. It was that she was not honest about it when it first happened. She was not transparent and forthright. So we're so excited to see the right handle this situation with that same level of rigor.
The party of law and order. The good old party.
You guys are here. You're here with your integrity and ethics to clean up the corruption.
Yeah,
and we're
drain
so
that
excited.
Swamp we're still waiting for.
Because we all know, in order to be the cleaners of corruption, you get to hold yourself most accountable, right? That's the game. You got to have that squeaky clean nose.
Cast that stone, right?
I mean, that's what I remember that some guy saying.
Someone mentioned something about casting a stone
in your eye
and being guiltless, or
that's right. Without
something about that.
Right.
Not.
Have you heard about Trump instituting that faith office on the White House, by the way?
I wonder if they were involved in the message.
Anyway, the reality is a lot of people in the Conservative Party are military and understand the level of concern that should be given to this kind of data breach. And we're curious to see what happens. But we, the American people, need to check in and say we expect the same level of investigation on both sides, because that's fair.
If you felt it necessary in a scenario strikingly similar in concept, then we should expect...
Not risk.
No, but then we should expect a similar response when it's closer to home.
Absolutely. Well, it's current off. Absolutely.
If you're going to make a big hoopla about it, then I better see a big hoopla about it.
The other thing here that the American people really need to get present to is that there are laws that require you to maintain records of any wartime decision made, so we can hold people accountable in the future, just like so many people want to do with the Clintons.
For posterity,
yeah. No, you are required, absolutely, to know how we made decisions in this country and who made those judgment calls, and they're processing them in an app that deletes them in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
That is not something I, as a citizen, am okay with. You, as a servant to me, get to record what you do so I can make sure that you're on the up and up and not. This isn't your personal CEO office.
Yes.
Get back into the business. This is the Oval Office. You serve us.
I mean, there are things that are classified for a reason.
Of course.
And there are things that can be sealed until said event or scenario has passed, and then they are unsealed as public record that can be found.
I'm not saying everyone should see them, of course.
No, but I'm saying, like, even if you're...
But they need to be retained.
Some of those, yes, they are... It is the Office of Records that decides when it is allowed to be unsealed, if it is sealed.
Who is never going to be the same person as the person in the records, because, guys, what are we thinking here? When would you ever want to let someone get away with that? And what bothers me is
never know what they did.
If this was Biden, people would be flipping out. He'd be impeached already.
It would have been a unanimous vote.
So where is the accountability?
Yes, that's all we're looking for.
But then there's the master of out of context and misinformation.
Yeah, except when geniusly the person who's presenting the information that you're saying is out of context didn't tell you everything they had before you start making your defenses, and then the rest of the information comes that makes your defense seem a lie.
Jeffrey Goldberg, we love you. Very smart man. Well played, bravo. That's why it's important to know the law and the way someone's going to react. This is also where we get to see that these teams' behavior is predictable. If someone can play them like that with a story, then they know how they work. And there's a lack of credibility, right? And capability. Are you really trustworthy with this data and capable of handling this situation?
And you should be upset that your officials are willing to try and play you, as you are now being able to see, that they tried to spin it one way.
They lied under oath. Tulsi Gabbard lied under oath. Deal breaker, buddy. You're out of there, girl. I used to have great hope for you. But if you are willing to lie under oath, or you don't know that the specific wartime details are classified data, you're incompetent.
You should not be in your position.
You're incompetent.
The downside is it happens to be the entirety of the cabinet and most current officials in their position who are acting officials who were placed there are also incompetent.
I came from a military background where foreign affairs were a big deal. The Conservative Party always cared about having a candidate that could speak foreign affairs. What is happening?
Yep, and they also used to complain about appointments that weren't up to snuff, weren't qualified.
Where are they?
Yeah,